How to notate the first half of Jingle Bells. Get out your paper, get out your pencil, and get out your ruler. Remember to add those treble clef signs at the beginning of each staff, which is for high voices and high instruments. And also add those 4/4 time signatures, which means 4 beats per measure. We are going to notate the first 8 measures, so anything between these bar lines is a measure. Make sure you add your 4/4 time signatures, your treble clefs, and your bar lines, which creates each one of these 8 measures. We are going to start notating our composition with a quarter note on the B line. So that is the very middle line of our staff. We're adding a stem going down, and then we're filling in our note head all the way to make it a quarter note. Reminding you that the stem goes down because anything on the B line or above, you draw the stem down, or anything with the A or below, the stem goes up. Now we're adding another quarter note on the B line, drawing our stem down again, and then filling in our note head. Our last note of the first measure, we are drawing another note on our B line, but this time it is a half note. So that means we are not filling in our note head, but we're still adding that stem going down, and that is 2 beats. So we have 4 beats in our first measure. We are going to move on to our second measure and draw the exact same notes we did in our first measure, which makes it super easy. If you need to pause the video to draw those notes in there, go ahead. Now I'm moving on to the third measure and drawing a quarter note on our B line again. Can you see a theme? We really like our B line, our B notes today on Jingle Bells. Make sure you fill in that note head. The stem goes down again because it's on the B line. Now we are going to move up to the D line. That is our 4th line. Draw a quarter note again, making sure that stem goes down and filling in our note head. For our next note, we are going to draw a dotted quarter note on our G line, which is the 2nd line of our treble clef staff. A dotted quarter note has a dot right beside the note head, just like our dotted half note. So a dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats, where a dotted half note gets 3 beats. I had to stop and erase my stem. It was so crooked, it was driving me nuts. So there we go, that's a little bit better. Adding my dot to the side, my little beauty mark. And then I will need an 8th note, which we haven't talked about yet. So an 8th note, our 8th note is going to go on our 2nd space, which is our A space. We fill in the note head. We're going to draw a stem going up. And then we're going to draw a little flag on the end, which makes our 8th notes look so pretty. These are some of the prettiest notes. Our 8th note equals a half beat, and our dotted quarter note equals 1.5 beats. So together, those are 2 beats plus the other 2 quarter notes equals 4. Moving on to our 4th measure, we are just drawing a whole note. So no need for a stem or filling in the note head. It's just a plain note head, which is 4 beats. Since our 4th measure was super easy drawing our whole note, we are moving on to our 5th measure, and we are going to stay on the C space, which is our 3rd space in the staff. Our first 2 notes, we are going to draw quarter notes, and then we will move on from there, drawing a dotted quarter note and an 8th note. Make sure your stems are down and make sure to fill in those note heads. I think you guys know me well enough by now that I have a really hard time holding my phone, taking this video, and drawing stems straight. I had to redo that one. It was driving me crazy. Okay, let's draw our dotted quarter note. So you're filling in that note head again, making sure your stem is going down. And make sure you add your dot right next to the note head. And then we're adding our 8th note. For our last half beat, we need to make 4 beats in our measure. I wish I was a bit more coordinated, but I got what I got, and I'm trying my best, people. Don't forget the pretty, pretty flag at the end. So we have a half beat plus 1.5 beats. Moving on to our 6th measure. Draw a quarter note in the C space again. And then we're moving down to the B line because we love our B line. We love our B notes in Jingle Bells. So we're going to draw 2 quarter notes on the B line now. We are adding another quarter note to our B line, filling in that note head once again with our stem down, and then ending our 6th measure with 2 8th notes on the B line. So start by adding 2 note heads on the B line for your 8th notes. Then draw your stems down just like you normally do. And instead of us drawing 2 separate flags, we are going to just connect those stems together, and they're going to look like little friends holding hands. And now we're done with our 6th measure. 1, 2, 3, and then each 8th note is a half beat, so it's 4 beats. Okay, 2 more measures to go. We're on our 7th measure. We are drawing another quarter note on our B line because we love our B's in Jingle Bells. Then we're moving down to our A space on the 2nd space of our staff. We are going to draw 2 quarter notes with our stems going up because anything below our B line, we're making our stems go up. And anything on our B line or above, our stems go down. So after we draw our final A quarter note, we are going to draw another B quarter note to end our 7th measure, which makes this fairly easy, but not as easy as our 8th measure, which I will tell you about in a second after I fill this in. Okay, pretty good. Moving on to our 8th measure. We are only drawing 2 half notes. Yay! 2 half notes, that's it. And then we're done with half of our Jingle Bells. Make sure your first half note of your 8th measure is in the A space, your 2nd space. Stem is horrendous. Ah! Okay, that's better. We are going to end our first half of Jingle Bells with a half note on our D line, making sure our stem is down and our note head is clear. This is the end of the first half of Jingle Bells.
Thank you for watching
the video.